Okay, we'll start with the thyroid gland, which actually here is pretty visible. Thyroid gland is a small gland at the base of the front of the neck, just below where humans' Adam's apple. It's a vital hormone gland, plays a role in metabolism, growth, and development of the human body. You can live without it, but you'll need long-term thyroid hormone replacement therapy to give you the hormone that you normally produce. So that's right there. Next, the aorta, which I could not get to clearly enough, but it does come up here. It's the main artery that carries blood away from the heart to the rest of the body. Begins at the left ventricle, and that is where the blood leaves the heart through the aortic valve, and it travels through the aorta, making cane-like curve that allows the arteries to deliver oxygen and blood to the brain, muscles, and other cells. Again, the aorta is the largest blood vessel in the body. Next is the heart, which we have here. Fist-sized organ in the human body that pumps blood throughout. Primary organ of that cardiovascular system. Heart contains 4 chambers made of muscles powered by electrical impulses. The heart is pumping blood around the body as your heart beats. This blood sends oxygen and nutrients to the entire body and carries unwanted carbon dioxide and waste products away to the lungs. Next is the spleen, which we have here. Spleen is a fist-sized organ, which is in the upper left side of your abdomen, next to your stomach, behind the left rib, which I have opened up here. The spleen is pretty important, has a lot of functions, stores blood, filters blood, makes white blood cells and antibodies that help fight infections, maintains levels of fluid in the body, and it also produces antibodies that protect you against infection. It's very important in the immune system. However, you can survive without it because the liver can take over a lot of the spleen's functions. Next, going back up to the larynx, which is here. I did get a pretty good job of getting that opened up. It's commonly called the voice box, passageway for air between the pharynx above the trachea, which is here. The larynx allows the air you breathe to reach those lungs. It has a flap of skin, that the epiglottis, so when you swallow, it sends food and liquid down the esophagus and not down the windpipe. The larynx is a lump that you can feel on your neck, and some are more defined than others, but can be known as the Adam's apple. Next, go down to the diaphragm, which I have right here, right above the liver under the lungs. Diaphragm is a skeletal muscle, sits at the base of the chest, separates the abdomen from the chest. It creates a vacuum-like effect when it contracts and flattens when you inhale. When you exhale, it relaxes, pushes air out of the lungs. It also increases the abdominal pressure, so it helps get rid of vomit, urine, and/or feces. Places pressure on the esophagus also to prevent acid reflux. Next is the gallbladder, which I'll try to do here while holding the phone. Gallbladder is right over here. It is a small, almost pear-like shaped, but it is right under here, under the liver. There it is, right here. You can see it on the phone now. But it is on the right side of the abdomen, just beneath the liver. It does hold digestive fluids, which are called bile, which is released into the small intestine. You also can live without the gallbladder because your liver will make enough bile, but instead of being stored in the gallbladder, it's gonna drip into that digestive system. So there's the gallbladder. Next is the colon, which was interesting to see in a pig. The colon here is kind of a large base right here. Colon is part of, or is the large intestine. Its job is to dehydrate what is left of food, form that into our stool. Does this it absorbs water, electrolytes, as the muscle system moves waste, and also the bacteria living in the colon will feed on waste and break it down even further. Can you live without a colon? You can live without a colon, but you may need to wear a colostomy bag outside of the body to collect that stool. Next, we'll go back here to the kidneys. It's hard to do this with one hand. There is the kidney right here. And the kidneys, there are a pair of kidneys that we are typically born with that are bean-shaped in the abdomen. Kidneys remove waste and extra water from the blood, which would be our urine, and help keep the chemicals, electrolytes balanced in the body. They also make hormones that help control blood pressure and stimulate bone marrow to make red blood cells. The kidneys are very important in the body. Because they are important, you cannot live without them. It's possible to live with one working kidney, but you cannot live without them. And I do have a female, so I found that an interesting looking bladder. But anyway, the ovaries, which are very hard to see, but are right here on the ends. Super teeny. But the ovaries are two small oval-shaped organs in the pelvis. Pelvis being the area between hips and lower part of the tummy. And the ovaries are part of the reproductive system. The fallopian tubes are two very thin tubes that link those ovaries to each other on either side of the pelvis or womb. Ovaries are the female gonads, primary female reproductive organs, and these glands have very important functions such as secreting hormones, protecting eggs that females are born with, and they also release eggs for possible fertilization. But that is my dissection project, and super actually enjoyed it, so thank you.